All right, let's continue on. And First John, an epistle. Ooh, do not love this world. Well, we get beaten out of the world, kicking and screaming, and it's what the Lord does to His sheep. The world hated me before it hated you, but I have chosen you out of the world. Therefore, the world hateth you. And for whom the Lord loveth, He chastens and scourges. God doesn't love everybody; He only loves His sheep. That's why Jesus said, I never knew you. This means you're a goat. He never knew you. He only came. Jesus said, I only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. People are like, what about John 3:16? He came for the whole world. No, for God so loved cosmos in the Greek. The first usage, the basic definition of cosmos is orderly arrangement. And it also translated to the sky, the stars, which are just right above us under the firmament. They're not what those NASSholes tell. I'm sorry. It's not what NASA tells you that they are. All their CGI photos, LOL. Hilarious. People zoom into them with super powerful telescopes, and they're just blinking lights. They're not what NASA shows you. And they almost look like they're underwater. And of course, the firmament is separating the water that is above us. Anyway, I digress. Do not love this world, nor the things it offers you. For when you love the world, you do not have the love of the Father in you. Well, you can't love both. What is that? You can't love God and money. For the world offers only craving for physical pleasure, craving for everything we see, and pride in our achievements and possessions. And that's funny because that's what the Nebuchadnezzar wrote Daniel chapter 4 himself, because the king of Babylon became a sheep. He got the call. And everything was about his achievements, his pride of his possessions, his achievements, being the king of Babylon. And we're going to be getting to that in 2 or 3 days. It's an amazing, it's about a 4-day read, maybe 5. But these prideful earthly achievements, they are not from the Father, but from this world. And this world is fading away along with everything that people crave. And when you see people die that had it all, it puts it all in perspective of what having it all in an earthly possession, in an earthly form, really means. I know Christians, and they're just so full of pride. Everything's about their own achievements. Me, I did this, I did that, I. And they go to church every Sunday, and it's like, do you read Daniel chapter 4? Have you read it? Pride's of Satan. Pride is satanic. The things of this world is of Satan. I digress. And this world is fading away along with everything that people crave, but anyone who does what pleases God will live forever. And of course, you're called and beaten into that. That's Hebrews 12, 6-8. For whom the Lord loveth, he locks you down and beats. He chastens and scourges. The scourge was not just a tap. It would rip the flesh off of you. Dear children, the last hour is here. You have heard that the Antichrist is coming, and already many such Antichrist have appeared. From this we know that the last hour has come. These people left our churches, but they never really belonged with us. Otherwise, they would have stayed with us. When they left, it proved that they did not belong with us. That is sheep talking to sheep. The us is sheep. The us is the church. These people left God's church, our churches. We're not reeds in the K JV. When they went out from us, so it doesn't really say they left our churches, right? When they went out from us, they were not of us. When they left God's chosen few, narrow way church, they were not of it. For if they had been of it, they would have no doubt continued in it or with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. They weren't really sheep, were they? But ye have, let's go back to the, but ye are not like that, for the Holy One has given you his Spirit. He gives you his Spirit. You don't earn it with a free will, satanic, false, egotistical, prideful free will decision. He has given you his Spirit, and all of you know the truth. Jesus is the truth. So all of you would know Jesus. So I'm writing you not because you don't know Jesus or know the truth, but because you know the difference between the truth and lies, or Jesus and lies. And who is a liar? Anyone that says that Jesus is not Christ. Anyone who denies the Father and the Son is an antichrist. Of course, there is the Antichrist, which will be the seventh king of Mystery Babylon. We'll be getting into that later on. Anyway, therefore, the king's commandment was urgent. So we're in Daniel chapter 3. The king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceedingly hot. The flames of the fire slew those men. So he had his strongest men throw them in the fire, and the fire killed those strong men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished and rose in haste and spake and said to his counselors, Did we not cast three men into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, it is true, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire. They have no hurt on them. And one has the form like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth, come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth in the midst of the fire, and the princes, governors, captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire on them. It had seemingly passed right over them. All right, I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.